Tam Fam. She is the singular icon behind the fashion stars that we know. Naomi Campbell, Tyson Beckford, Veronica Webb, so many others. Long before diversity and inclusion came to the forefront, there was Bethann Hardison. With grit and grace and gratitude, Bethann became a revolutionary trailblazer and a legend in the fashion world, busting down barriers, redefining beauty, advocating for those who were not in the room. And now her remarkable life and global impact is captured in her eye-opening documentary. It's called Invisible Beauty. Here's a peek.
I always know you can change things. I've done it before.
Everyone's talking about diversity and inclusion. That directly stems from the work that Bethann did.
Without her, the opportunities wouldn't exist for me to do what I loved.
She's like a second mother to me.
She's the godmother of fashion.
When I started, I was the first black-looking model on 7th Avenue. There was no people look like me.
A lot of designers did not use models of color.
No blacks, no ethnics.
You don't know what it's like to be invisible.
Where are the black girls?
I started the Black Girls Coalition.
She moved our glamour and our good looks into the arena of activism.
She's a game changer.
Please welcome to the Tam Fam, Bethann Hardison!
God bless you.
God bless
You like green.
It's my favorite color.
That's what I told me. I like green too.
So, full disclosure, again, this is live TV. I like to take the Tam Fam. In the commercial break, my producer ran out. She said, Bethann said, this is not just a fashion book. This is about my activism.
Yeah, it's not a fashion film.
It's not a fashion film.
It's
about
fashion-related.
Fashion-related, because your activism is what activated your taking on beauty standards.
Wow.
I didn't know until, first of all, congratulations on the documentary. 2 years it took to make or more? Yeah, 2 years or more. Actually, it was 3 years to make the film, but a lifetime of stories to get here. Your father used to have Malcolm X come by the house in Bed-Stuy.
In Bedford-Stuy.
Bedford-Stuy.
No, Crown Heights.
What was that like?
Well, you know, you don't think much of it at the time. I learned a lot about Malcolm and Elijah Muhammad from my father because Elijah Muhammad was going to come to New York from Chicago, and my father was a well-known imam, so they wanted to know what was the feeling there. And my father, it's not, you know, my father was Orthodox, so it's a little difference with the Elijah Muhammad because they had more cultural, you know, they're teaching things much more radical. And so at some given point, Malcolm started to seek my father's counsel. And then later, he began to seek it even more.
You wrote in the book that your father would always remind you that no matter what happens, remember, you're the queen.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we talk so much about, you know, we talk so much about affirmations, right? Yeah. There are these viral videos, you see the teachers greeting the kids with a high five and the fist bump and then give them the encouraging words. But really, it has to start in the home.
Yeah.
And hearing that from your parents, your aunts, your uncles, your community.
Yeah.
What impact did those words have on you?
Well, you know, you don't, I mean, maybe it's an impact now. But at the time, you just listened to a lot of noise. You know, parents are noise.
You're telling me I was noisy in a 4-year-old's ear this morning. I'm like, you're so brave, you can do it.
And they're like, Juan, leave me alone. But in the end of the day, yeah, you know, what I loved about my father is that he was a strong man, and he had a very good woman behind him. Yeah. And he really definitely let me know, he made me learn to do things like cut his hair, learn how to tie his tie. He had me do things that he felt that is important for you to know, to have a marriage, to have a family, to have a mate, but don't forget who you are in it. Who you are.
And so, I love that in the documentary, you know, we obviously see the great names of people who call you mother. Naomi Campbell calls you mom. But what I deeply love and I found enriching is to see that activist in you. Because we all like to believe we would stand up, right? We would like to get in front of the microphone and say some of the things out loud in a crowded room that wasn't ready to hear it. And that's what you did so often, seeing you at that microphone scene in the
Yeah,
documentary.
the black and white scene?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Tell me about that young woman that said, I'm going to sit at this podium and call, as they say, truth to power.
Well, you know, it's very interesting. People, I guess when you see it all together, like I said to my co-director at the time, I didn't know I had even a story until I saw the 4 hours of footage she gave me to see. Then
You didn't think you had a story?
Exactly. And let me explain why I say that. It's because of the fact that oftentimes when you're in the trenches of something, you're doing the work. Yeah. You're not thinking, oh, mom, it's me, I'm doing so good. You're just, you know, you're just doing the work. And for me, I never thought of it. I knew a lot of things I did were important because I believed in my industry. But it wasn't so hard in some way because I don't think of my industry in that way that I'm going up against something. I think I'm going there to help them, to educate them. And to me, I really believe that, you know, look, we're fashion. Yeah. It's not the most intellectual group of people.
I'm not going to say that.
I said
I'm not saying that. I'm not going to say that.
I said it. I mean, it's not like they're sitting there and they're doing things and they go into rabbit holes because they follow each other unbeknownst that they're doing that. And then all of a sudden we have a crisis. Crisis to me is like the lack of racial diversity. So I had an ability to be able to speak to them because I believed in them. I believed that I was poking the bear.
Yeah.
But I believe that the bear really gets the credit because he listened.
He listened.
Yeah.
I think that's a point that you make because we do talk about inclusion of women, inclusion of people of color, but the reality is that you're not trying to be the adversary, you're trying to be the educator.
Yes.
And those who are willing to listen get to come to the party. That's
much easier because people feel they're more comfortable. They listen because you're not attacking.
Yeah.
And everyone can't be
love you.
attacked.
Let's simmer on that. They're listening because you're not attacking. So often people feel like I have to beat you down to see me.
Yeah. And the truth of it is I really do believe in my industry. I did. And I'm an elder. Yeah. I'm someone who's been around.
Well, you're not an elder because coming up, tequila shots and motorcycle rides. That's the tease. The real Bethann Hardison. Please stand up. We'll talk about that after the break.
We really have to sort of like keep on celebrating the girl, but some kind of way we cannot let this thing fall back. See, they're slipping up, they're doing the right thing, they're trying to be conscious of diversity, but you know how they are. They forget, they get sidetracked when they go down here, and they're over us again.
It was something that had to be kept at the forefront. This monster of racism raises its head year in, year out.
How can you keep it going?
And that's what I really realized, that activism has to remain active.
Welcome back. We're with fashion industry legend Bethann Hardison. That was a clip from the new documentary celebrating her life and work, Invisible Beauty. It's like Bethann said in that clip, you know, keep activism, keep active. You keep active by regularly taking the most amazing... Every time we talk, she's like, darling, I'm in Mexico. And then I'll talk to Iman, and Iman's like, Bethann had a shot of tequila. She's been up all day. And now your best friend is Harry Styles.
No.
Yes, yes.
I adore him.
You adore him. You said we enjoy each other's friendship or whatever.
Yeah.
What is the secret?
About being good and...
About having this great life and keeping it going.
Compassion.
Compassion.
I really believe that. I believe that I'm always saying, I need an older friend and another friend that's around my age, that's funny and kind and, you know, and compassionate. Yeah. But at the same time likes to gossip a little bit and giggle. You know, I want that. I used to have that a little bit with Toni Morrison. That was she was great for that for me. And you know, you miss that. But I think compassion has a lot to do. The way you handle your life, going through life, how you deal with others, I think and those same people find you. Yeah. And even those who are a bit of jerks find you. Light attracts light, and I believe that. Yeah. And I know that a big part of your life and the activism, of course, is motherhood. Your son, Kadeem Hardison. Yes. And when I was watching the documentary, you know, the weight of mothering others while mothering your own is never easy. Yeah. How did you? You know, it's interesting. Kadeem has seen the film, and you know his part in the film says a lot. You know about he really basically shares how he could disappear on me, and the idea of everyone is so impressed that we had this footage there and that we allowed it. which tells a lot of story. But Kadeem is so proud of this film that he's promoting and getting people to see it and all, because he too grew up not knowing much about me. Because, you know, he lived with me from 9, then he went off to do a different world at 22, you know, years old. But all the stuff that I was doing, he was doing his life in LA, I'm doing my life in New York. He saw the film and he came to another screening here in New York, and he was just, he could hardly speak. He was like,
how did that make
tearful.
you feel that the book talks about invisible beauty and all of the greatness that you are? It wasn't invisible, but he didn't see it.
Well,
now he sees
but
it.
because he lived else, he was living
yeah,
elsewhere.
he didn't get a chance to see it.
He was seeing.
But now he sees it. How did it make you feel?
Well, I'm happy for him. People need to catch up, no matter who they are.
Right.
You know, keep up too. I'm just happy for him that he appreciates. Well, he loves films anyway. Yeah. But he also appreciates the quality of this project.
As a mother, to have your child celebrate you, that has to feel good.
And also the fact that he understands always who I am. And appreciates it. And he explains it. And I really appreciate also in the Q&As, many women would get up and talk about their life with being a mother and being in a business and trying to do the same thing, especially if they had a male child.
Yeah.
Well, here you go.
Oh, here you go.
And the idea is that you do your life and they do their life. And I'm not someone who's a mamacita kind of, I'm not. Honestly, I'm not. Not even with my grandchild. I said, why do I have to have a grandchild?
But you show your love in so many other ways. And
So
this is
many
a
ways.
love letter
Yes,
to the fashion industry and really the world, because we are, and what your documentary shows, is that we are all better when we come together.
Yes.
So congratulations
Thank you so
on
much.
this. Invisible Beauty is out now in select theaters, available on demand October 31st. Give it up for Bethann